Welcome, everybody, again. Has it been a week already? Yes, it has, to another exciting episode of the Vinyl Community Guncles. This time discussing the music of 1999, so this shouldn't take long, at least the tops part. Just a reminder, I said we should stop at 94, but well, at least we have the Wilson Pickett album to discuss later on. Craig's choice was the Exciting Wilson Pickett. Wow, all three of us have it, and if Craig gave one of his to Richard, we all four would have it.
Yeah.
I'm Robert Fithen, along with Craig from Craig's Vinyl Plethora, Richard from Calvin Wazoo, and ladies and gentlemen, the man who was once quoted as saying Crosby, Stills, and Nash. How about Collins, Stills, and Sting? Where's that album? Mike from Tunes.
Never said that. Hey,
You missed the Terra, though.
I guess so.
Yeah, he missed the Terra.
So 1999. What was I doing in 1999? I don't remember a lot because I was drinking a lot and probably doing some drugs and running around Boys Town in Chicago. I was a kid in a candy store those couple of years. I had gotten divorced, moved into the city, and they were 96, 97, 98, 99. Those are some wild years. Musically, I was all over the map. I was going to clubs, so I was hearing a lot of club music, but I didn't really like it. It's just not really my thing. I was not collecting a lot of vinyl. I had some vinyl. I took some vinyl with me after the divorce. I probably had 1,000 records when I left. I had a lot of CDs, but this was right around the time I purged most of my CDs. So I when I went through the list, I realized, wow, there's some stuff I'd really like to get on vinyl that I never replaced and probably are now available. The Magnetic Field 69 Love Songs is a wonderful record.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, what a great record
really
that is.
good,
Yeah. Beck's Midnight Vultures. I have just about every Beck album on vinyl except for Midnight Vultures. Californication. I loved that album when it came out. I don't know how it holds up these days. I don't know. I haven't heard it in a long ass time. But I loved that album when it came out. Sleater Kinney, The Hot Rock. Love The Hot Rock. Great album. I don't have it on vinyl. And I'm sure it's been reissued. Probably a couple of times.
It's I believe.
Huh? I'm sorry?
It's on vinyl, I believe. But I don't know
I
if
think
it's
all
still
their stuff
available,
has come
but
out.
yeah.
I think they reissued their whole catalog a couple of years ago. Macy Gray, On How Life Is. I love that record. What a great record. I always dug her. I always thought she was so cool. I don't know what. Isn't she awesome? I know a lot of people didn't care for her voice, but I thought it was great. It was unique and different. I just love Macy Gray. Super Furry Animals, a great psych pop record. Gorilla came out. I need to get that on vinyl. I've added a bunch onto vinyl that I need to get. The Magnolia soundtrack, terrible movie, great soundtrack. Amy Mann, just a wonderful
soundtrack.
And
Respect the cock.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
We saw
my expectations were really, really high because it was the
really
same
high.
director as Boogie Nights, which was one of my favorite movies. It was probably my favorite movie, my favorite R-rated movie, basically, at that time, and for years after that. I saw it again recently, and it kind of doesn't hold up. But
so much build up for Magnolia.
Right, I mean, I was so ready for it, and no. But the Respect the Cock part was funny.
We saw it in the theater, and I would say more than the majority of people either walked out or left going, what the fuck was that?
Well, it's really long too. And
it's
the thing too,
long.
if you watch Tom Cruise's performance now and the whole Respect the Cock thing, I don't even think that would be funny now because it's there's so many people out there that are for real like that. It's not a caricature. I mean, there's social media stars.
Did he win the Oscar for that role?
I don't know.
He was nominated.
I don't think.
But talk about
has he ever won an Oscar? I don't think
predicting
he's
the
ever...
whole.
He was definitely nominated.
over masculine
Yeah.
social media stars of today. I mean, he nailed it. However, whatever, 24 years ago.
Yeah, long time. But great soundtrack, Amy Mann, and you can also get most of those songs on Bachelor #2, Amy Mann's terrific album. And Beth Orton, one of my favorite singers, she's still around. She just released an album a couple of months ago. Central Reservation is a wonderful, wonderful record. It might be her first record. It's either her first or second record. She's a terrific singer. I believe she's Irish. Great record. All her vinyl has just been reissued, so you can buy all of Beth Orton's stuff on vinyl. It just came out in the last year, so it's all readily available, and that's my favorite of her albums. So I'm definitely going to be picking that up. I did pull a couple of records.
So he's been nominated 4 times but never won.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus, what were the other ones? Has he made enough movies to get
let's see. He was Born on the 4th of July, Jerry Maguire, Magnolia, and Top Gun Maverick.
Jesus.
Are you serious?
Yeah, apparently he was. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know he was.
Wow, what a joke!
Right. Well, since they've expanded the Oscar category,
yeah. Now it was a joke. Now it's not even a funny joke anymore.
There were a lot better movies in '99. I mean, that was the year of Saving Private Ryan, Life is Beautiful, Gods and Monsters. Those were all movies from that year.
I just saw this. I just saw this guy live a couple of weeks ago, and he was absolutely wonderful. And this is his previous band. It's not really a band; it's kind of just him. But they made like 14 albums, and then he went solo and he's made probably another 12 or 13. But this is Bill Callahan, the band Smog. This is Knock Knock. This is a really good record. He's not for everybody. He's got a real deep baritone voice. Very minimalist kind of sound, repetitive, a lot of repeating over and over. This is a great record. This actually has, if anyone's familiar with the new Spoon record, their great album, Lucifer on the Sofa, just came out with last year. Yeah, that was last year. The song that opens it is a song called Held, but that is actually a Bill Callahan song, and it's on this record. So really good cover of it. Excellent. And then I only pulled 2 other records, and these probably, actually, after going through the whole list and looking and researching and everything, probably my 2 favorite records from that year. And this is 9 Inch Nails, The Fragile. This is the reissue that came out a few years ago, and it's huge, and it's heavy. I mean, it's a 3-record set. I believe it's a 3-record set. Really, really nice job on their reissues. I love this record. And then definitely my favorite record from that year is Wilco's Summer Teeth. You knew I was going to pull it, didn't you?
Yes.
I also have the huge deluxe anniversary issue. 25 years? Is that what we're at? Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard to believe, but
24.
Great. Yeah, this is probably my second or third favorite Wilco record. I love this. Great stuff on here. Jay Bennett, Jeff Tweedy. Jay Bennett was the heart and soul of this band. Don't tell Jeff Tweedy that. And I love the absolutely fantastic record. So that's all I really pulled. It's going to be an easy cleanup after this whole episode. It was a weird year.
Yeah, well, you know.
I was looking back on it, I think I was in a weird place too. I wasn't in a really great place, mentally, and so. But just the music really, some of it really stuck through. I need to replace some of those CDs, especially the Beth Orton stuff, and I got to get Midnight Vultures. I don't know why I don't have that. So yeah, weird year. Robert.
Yeah, an exciting year. So exciting, 1999. Yeah, I mean, I'd been in Seattle for a couple of years at that point, but as for music, it's like... But I managed to come up with the top 10 of my singles for that year. That there'll probably be a lot of thumbs down and oh, Craig, there'll be some.
Probably be a lot of I have no idea what that is,
or you don't know what they are.
That's been the track record.
actually have some honorable mentions as well. So, for my honorable mentions, Pet Shop Boys with New York City Boy. That was a fun little dancey club song at that time.
Was that year?
Yep, that was that year.
I actually went to New York City to see them that year, and they opened with it, and it was just one of the great concert moments of my concert seeing. It was fantastic.
I've never seen them.
By the way, we talked about their bilingual album on one of these shows, and a single from it was one word, and I can't remember what the single was. Before. When everybody gets a chance, just go ahead and peruse Discogs.com and check out what the CD single of that looks like. It comes in 2 colors.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna peruse that.
Yeah, be fun.
Okay, so
Richard's doing it right now.
Yeah, he is. So book report, please. 702 with "Where's My Girl At?" Where's my girl at? From the front to back, you got me feeling that. Savari, I'm not quite sure how they pronounce it. Her name is Ambrosia.
Oh my!
Wait, Craig, who
it's a 12-inch single.
Oh, now I got it.
I assumed it was a CD. Is it a 12-inch? I thought it was a CD.
It's a 12-inch single as well.
Oh wow! Well, that's even better. Do you like the blue one or the pink one? Anyway, yes, Craig. Go ahead.
Okay,
Craig,
definitely. Yeah. What?
Who did you just say?
Savari.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they only did 3 records. Her name is Ambrosia. Yeah, her name is Ambrosia Paisley. Hard to find.
Very hard to find.
Very hard to find, and I love them. But there's first single actually, "Goodnight Moon," which is a beautiful song, and it bum 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 bum, so good. Not Mr. Sandman though.
I was gonna say it sounds like Mr. Sandman.
It almost sounded like I was going into Mr. Sandman, but it's not. No, because they don't say bum bum. It's the bass, like the bass line bum 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 bum. Yes. Cranberries with "Just My Imagination." There was a wonderful cover that year, a duo, and it was George Michael and Mary J. Blige, and they covered Stevie Wonder's "As," and it's an incredible cover. So that was when "Ladies and Gentlemen, the Best of George Michael" came out, and it was not on the US version because of her management would not allow it to be on the US version. Later it was on the 25 that he did like 10 years later. If you have more to say to that,
right around the time where he got picked up in the bathroom?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
it was
why.
Within a year after that. So yeah, no, they were worried that it was going to tarnish her image, and she was, from what I read, she was pretty actually irate about it. She was pissed because it's a really great cover, and George and MJB they blend so well together. Missy Elliott with "She's a Bitch."
Missy.
Yes, she's a bitch. And then Eurythmics, "I Saved the World Today." This was their first single off of that album, and called "Peace," and that was the first thing that they had done since 1989, and the last thing they've done. So now moving forward with my top 10. At number 10, Macy Gray with "Do Something." You got to get up, get out, and do something. I also adore Macy Gray, and
she's great.
People either love her or hate her. I'd have people tell me, why are you listening to Minnie Mouse? I'm like, I don't think she's up with Minnie Mouse, but
no.
I don't know. I mean, kind of, she lost me after like her 3rd record, but her first 2 are solid.
They're both great.
They're very hard to find on vinyl, and actually my second, her second album, I actually have an original pressing of that one, which is really, and it's a promo, I believe. So yeah, I adore Macy Gray. She's just fantastic. You know, she did a what is the Stevie Wonder album, Songbook? Is that what it's called?
Songs in the Key of Life?
No, I thought is that maybe this one? I thought one was called Songbook, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's Songs in the Key. But she did a cover album of his entire album. It's okay, but it's interesting. Stevie's obviously is better, but number 9, Garbage with "You Look So Fine." I adore that song. and I just adore Shirley.
A friend of mine gave me a garbage CD, but I've never listened to it, so I really don't know.
I love Garbage. I have folders.
It's probably not that one. It's probably the one with Stupid Girl and Queer and.
It's the pink one.
Yeah, with the big G on it.
Number 8, Enigma with Gravity of Love. And really never. Oh, you have.
Oh, I know Enigma. It's just that I don't know. It was kind of.
So, Gravity of Love. It actually, Ruth Ann Boyle is the vocalist on it, and she's from Olive, which was a dance group.
I remember Olive.
And it's so beautiful. Just the sounds that come in and the bum, bum, bum. And she's just singing the Gravity of Love. It's one of my favorite Enigma songs. They're very, I don't know. They're very Enigma. Number really 7. Nice... What was that?
Didn't Olive do a really nice remix of the 10cc song "I'm Not in Love"?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. I think that was on one of your lists previously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was played in the clubs
a lot.
The time.
Yeah. That was
my God.
A lot. Yeah.
Couldn't go to Manhole without hearing that.
True. Number 7. Here comes in my pop diva-ness. All right. Mandy Moore with Candy. I'm missing you like candy. Yes, Mandy Moore. She was the better, because that year it was like year of Britney Spears, year of Christina Aguilera. Mandy Moore just was way better than those other girls, and I still love her to this day. Candy is a terrible, cheesy song, but I hear it and I go back to that moment in time, and it's very wonderful.
I always liked her.
She's fantastic.
She also seems like a really cool person.
Yeah, and she's a good little actress, and she was married to that douche nozzle, but
Ryan Adams.
Yeah.
They got married after Parker Posey dumped him, and Parker was like, "Nope, stay away from this dude," and she married him.
Mm. Well, she's better now, and she was in that This Is Us, which I never watched. But okay, number 6, Prozac with "Sucks to Be You." Sucks to be you. I know. Sucks to be you. I know it's true. That's such a terrible good song. Number 5 is actually a tie. I don't have a tie to present, but it is a tie, but by the same artist. And that is Marilyn Manson with "I Don't Like the Drugs, but the Drugs Like Me." And "Rock is Dead." My favorite Manson album, Mechanical album. Yeah. It's my favorite. I need it. I've only been able to find bootleg of it because I don't really know that. My
ex has it. He has all of Marilyn Manson stuff.
That's my favorite Manson album. Number 4, Fiona Apple with "Fast as You Can." Number 3. So this was the first song I ever heard by her, and many, many, many moons later, she's one of my favorite artists. I'm obsessed with her. She had a record prior to the one that this single came out on, but it really didn't go anywhere. And I know it now, but I didn't know it at the time. And this is Beth Hart with her song "LA Song," and this is the song that really kind of made me interested in her voice, and her second record, "Screaming for My Supper," is still probably one of my favorite albums of all time. But that was the song so it's not my favorite song of hers. I think it's absolutely beautiful, but it's the song that introduced me to her and kind of brought her into my world. And I will always be grateful, and the song will always be very special to me because it's what brought Beth Hart into my world. So, and she's amazing. If you haven't heard her, you definitely should check her out. And number 2, who I was absolutely obsessed with him at this time, and was for quite a few years later, saw him in concert, and then it's just kind of died off. I don't even know if he's done anything in the last few years, but David Gray, I adore him, and the song "Please Forgive Me." Yeah. My number one of 1999, and it's a brilliant one, and it's probably one of their best songs ever, and that is the Cardigans with "Erase and Rewind."
don't remember that.
And I
remember them though.
And I want it back.
Yeah, I remember them, but I don't remember that song.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Well, pretty much most,
Love Fool.
Yeah, pretty much anybody. The Cardigans, Love Fool, and that is probably the worst song in their catalog. It's a fun song. It's a good song, but like oh my gosh, and that album with Erase and Rewind, called Gran Turismo, start to finish, brilliant. So there you have it. My tops of 1999.
Craig?
I'm not sure I knew any of those except for Marilyn Manson.
I didn't know any of those either.
Maybe you'll
Craig,
hate them, maybe you'll love them. Yeah.
Can you explain your T-shirt?
Oh,
the good folks.
This is a little baby on my T-shirt, and when we were cleaning out her mother's house with her mother when they were selling the house, they came across this, and this is actually Kimmy as a little baby. And awesome. Her mom got this for her dad for like Father's Day or something like that. So yeah, you can tell it's totally that computer really terrible thing. But yeah, so I'm like, oh, I gotta have that. I have a sweatshirt that was.
And Kimmy watches us.
Yeah, she does, and she'll probably be like, "Why are you wearing?
Why are you wearing me?"
But every once in a while, I throw this on and like, okay, Kimmy, baby Kimmy. So yeah. So there you have it, 1999 for the Craig.
Well done.
Wow, yeah. I didn't recognize, but I wasn't listening in 1999. There wasn't a lot of music that was grabbing my attention. I mean, I heard a lot of music that was being played on the radio, but none of it, really, it just never got my attention. But for some events of 1999, the number one single, and I don't know this single, but the number one single the week of my birthday was "If You Had My Love" by Jennifer Lopez.
Oh,
don't know the song.
I have no idea. I don't know the words, but I know my love and you gave me would you something me?
Something me? Would you buy me a tree?
Would you comfort me?
Would you come on me? I mean, comfort me. Yeah, it's comfort me. Comfort me. Yeah.
Look,
and Jennifer Lopez and her
He's got the he's got the CD single.
All right.
The hits.
On April, there's the album.
It's not "If You Had My Love." Yeah.
Yeah. This is Terry's.
April 9th, Lil Nas X was born. So,
yay!
Talk about being aged. He was born that year, 1999. I was 41 years old, I think. Yeah. Wow. On April 19th. Neil Young was performing in Madison Square Garden, but they made a mistake on the marquee, and they said, "Tonight, Bob Dylan."
Wow.
Yeah.
I bet that went over real well with Neil.
Oh, it was Neil Young, and they said, I get it now. His name is not Bob Dylan.
His name's
Young apparently made a joke about it on stage and introduced one of the guitar players with the band he was touring with as Bob Dylan.
It's funny.
Now this
So Neil does have a good sense of humor.
He does.
He doesn't seem like he does.
Yeah, he does when he wants to.
It's very dry.
Yeah.
It's a very droll sense of humor.
The April 20th was the Columbine High School massacre, and what really struck me about this event as I was reading about it was the just bizarre reaction to the whole situation, rather than talking about, again, like today, access to guns or whatever, because the weapon they used apparently was one that was deemed illegal by the ATF a decade before, one of the weapons they used. But anyway, the reaction was the media immediately went after, this is caused by violent media, by goth music. And even though there was no connection that was revealed about it, And then Marilyn Manson got blamed for it and took a lot of blame for it. And he actually kind of withdrew from the music scene a bit while all this was going on. But then in 2000, he came out with Holy Wood, which was his response to that event. Rammstein and KFMDM also took a lot of the blame, as causing violence and aberration or whatever. Millennium was the Backstreet Boys album, and it sold 1.13 million in its first week. And it was the first album ever to sell 500,000 copies within the first 2 weeks of its release.
There was a promotion that young people, they got their fans to buy multiple copies. This was way before color variants and things like that, and there was a big push to get them to break this record and have your mom and dad buy you more than one copy. You need the CD and the cassette and this, Yeah,
the Backstreet Boys still have that record for the 90s of the number one first week sales record. On July 1st, the Scottish Parliament formally opened with a rock concert in the shadow of the Edinburgh Castle, and that was headlined by Garbage. Shirley Manson at the time was one of the biggest music stars from Scotland. So
Scotland, also from Madison, Wisconsin, isn't she?
I don't know.
I think the band.
They loved her in Scotland. They loved her in Scotland.
Great. I mean, no.
I believe they're from 1999. Probably not a top, but Woodstock 1999 was July 22nd to the 25th.
Oh, that would definitely be that's a garbage bottom. That whole fiasco. Two great documentaries. One is on Showtime, and I don't remember where the other one is, but really shows you about what I'm about to talk about with mine.
Yeah, she's
with your bottoms.
She's Scottish. Yeah. Everybody else is from Wisconsin.
Butch Vig, one of the great music producers of all time.
So in September, David Bowie released his 21st studio album, Hours, but it becomes the first complete album to be legally available for downloading over the internet. So
I was going to pull it. It's one of my least favorite. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't even know it. I haven't listened to it. So
it's one of my least favorite.
But the digital download was ahead of the vinyl release by 2 weeks. Or at least the physical release. The first Coachella Music Festival was in October 9th. There's the record for David Bowie.
That's a CD.
The inaugural lineup for Coachella.
Oh, that's why it's small.
This was a good lineup.
It's a bunch of really small ones.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, this is I reviewed this because this was this is thought of as David Bowie's worst album, and I did a whole video. If you go on the internet, it is.
I don't think it's his worst.
Generally thought of as his worst album, so I did a whole video where I review everybody's worst album according to the internet, not according to me, and see who had the best worst album out of like the 10. And David Bowie has the best worst album. So, spoiler alert.
Go ahead, David Bowie.
Better than Motley Crue's worst album. Better than the Rolling Stones' worst album. Better than I don't remember who the other REM's.
Definitely better than Dirty Work.
The worst Rolling Stones was actually Bridges to Babylon, according to a lot of people.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's the one with the drum loops and the
that
record scratching drum loops. I mean, in a Rolling Stones album, I mean, you're not going to get much worse. Dirty Work had some decent songs on it. Not the singles, but Too Rude.
Well, October 9th, that was the first Coachella festival.
Too Rude is actually a pretty good song.
The lineup was pretty amazing. That first festival had Beck, the Chemical Brothers, Tool, Morrissey, and Rage Against the Machine. That would have been a pretty impressive festival to go to.
Did Morrissey show up?
I
think so.
Yeah, but he only did 2 songs.
Yeah, he did 2, and then
he did 2. He's notorious for that.
Unlike No Show George Jones.
Oh, George.
Uh,
You leave George alone.
And then back to the MP3, the first person to be convicted of copyright infringement was a University of Oregon student for downloading MP3s without permission, Jeffrey Levy.
Yeah.
He was sentenced to 2 years of probation and a limit on his internet access. How they managed that, I have no idea. And then, kind of a bad thing, but it's good news that George Harrison survived that knife attack at his home on December 30th.
Yeah.
So those were the top events. Now for albums, I just have 5. I had other albums, but I looked at them, and these are the ones to me are the more significant ones. First one is Coil, Music to Play in the Dark. So Coil, industrial, electronic, really, really nice album. Definitely, it's kind of music you do want to listen to in the dark. They have one that's in the dark too. This one is a little spooky, whereas In the Dark 2 to me is more ethereal, like, outer space kind of stuff. And then the recommendation, remember when we had people recommend records for us? Well, there was American Football. Now, the CD was released in 1999. The LP was not released until 2004. But this is one Chris from Record Talk recommended for me, and it is a really, really good album. It is, if not the best recommendation that I got when we did that, it's one of the better recommendations. This one was released in 1999. This is Pachinko, Splendor in the Ass 2.
Oh, yeah, you've talked about that before.
Yeah, he brought that because of the guy on the front.
Yeah, but it because the guy and Splendor in the Ass.
The guy in the back. So, I did. Yeah, I bought it because of that. It was on sale at the
Sam Goody.
Oh, but Jello Biafra's website, Alternative Tentacles. And it's noise rock, kind of post-punk. And it's actually pretty good. I enjoy this record. This was my first Tom Waits album, the Mule Variations. Really, and for a double record, I mean, it is really, really good.
It's a good record.
I was familiar with Tom Waits, knew about him, but I didn't have any in my collection. And then I saw this in the store, slightly less than $30 for a double record. I figured, what the hell? Let's give it a try. And good, very good. And then the last one for the year was this one by Underworld, Buku Fish.
Oh yeah, you've talked about that.
So this one I did have on CD at the time it was released. My boyfriend at the time had it, and really good dance electronica, more of a I keep wanting to say trance, but it's not. It's more of a techno, very techno, in which they were also kind of innovative in that they did not take. A lot of techno DJs would take the techno beats and put them around another song, whereas they wrote original material around the techno beats. But Underworld, great, that era of the late 90s, really great stuff from them. So those are the albums from 1999 that I pulled to show. There were some other ones, but they're just, I don't know, these hold up. These are good ones.
I just have I have tops in different categories. I have my number ones in different categories because I couldn't come up with more than 3 songs that I liked out of any particular thing. So this is a little bit different. My favorite album, my favorite 1999 album is Prince 1999 from 1982.
Well,
somebody had to do this joke. It might as well be me. That's not a one. That's Venus. Or a lamp.
It's a lamp. It's a lamp.
It's a lamp. Okay.
Mushroom.
My favorite soundtrack song of the year is from Madonna from the Austin Powers Spy Who Shagged Me movie. It's Beautiful Stranger. I've always thought it was really clever how she made it sound,
everywhere.
whoever did it, the producer, made it sound very 60s, very much like the Austin Power kind of universe, but at the same time made it sound modern. I thought that was really well done. So
couldn't
Beautiful
walk
Stranger.
into a gay bar and not hear it 3 times.
No.
Hard to dance to, I would imagine, though. It's not really a... And, well, I'm sure they had club mixes and whatever, but... there's that. My favorite pop single of the year that's not on a soundtrack was Ricky Martin and Livin' La Vida Loca, or Viva La Vida Loca if you have the Spanish version.
I'm a Ricky Martin fan. I love that album.
I don't really know much about Ricky Martin except for that song. He's got another one called Shake Your Bon Bon, which is absurd. But I liked Livin' La Vida Loca. I thought it was super high energy. It was very, very, very fast song. And just whenever it came on, it just really had a presence, made itself known.
Living La Vida.
There's a great song on that album, too, that he does with Madonna. Be careful.
I think I've listened to this all the way through once, 25
years.
Yeah,
the song he does with Madonna is fantastic.
It was also everywhere.
But Livin' La Vida Loca, it was part of that whole Latino music thing that was going on in the late 90s, and most of it, the good thing about most of that was
like Sharika and...
Yeah, a lot of it was legitimately Latino people, like No Mercy and Ricky Martin and I want to say some other people.
Enrique
Iglesias, they were all around there. It gave a real different sound to this just generic hip-hop and club stuff and whatever. I mean, this was a real thing going on. And then you had Santana with Rob Thomas, unfortunately. So there was the bad with the good. Santana, at least, legitimate in that concoction. My favorite album of the year is probably the Nine Inch Nails' The Fragile. I haven't heard this in quite a long time, but I remember I liked it.
That's good.
I really liked the 2 radio singles, We're in This Together and Into the Void.
Into the Void.
Yeah.
So good.
Great song.
Good.
I used to love talking to myself all the way to the station, and I'd be on the way to the radio station hearing that. Anyway, favorite rock song of the year that I actually played, Welcome to the Fold from Filter. It's like one of the few actual active rock songs that I actually liked, but I do like the shorter version. The longer 7-minute version has a whole middle part where it slows down and he starts talking about Mommy give me my medicine or something. I'm not really into that. But there's an edited version that we played that it's called Welcome to the Fold from Filter. Their big song was called Hey Man, Nice Shot that came out like 2 years earlier.
Hey Man.
And finally, song that I was surprised that I liked. There's no reason I would have liked this, but I actually like this song. A lot of people probably don't. And it's a rap song.
Oh?
But we played it. It's like a rock rap song, and it's from a guy named Everlast. Who used to be the lead singer of House of Pain, and the song is called What It's Like. My CD single is autographed from Everlast.
Oh my gosh, you're so lucky.
Yeah, but
you're like the luckiest boy alive.
I heard that, and I'm like, now this is totally different. This is completely different. And then, of course, it gets completely overplayed. Now, the CD single is interesting because it has no fewer than 7 different versions of the song. These aren't remixes or they don't sound different. You can choose whether you want guns cut out, the sex stuff cut out, the cuss words cut out. You can have the guns without the cuss words. You can have the cuss words without the guns. You can have the balls without the guns. You can have the guns with the balls, or you can just have the album version. Yeah. Whatever concoction you want of what it's like.
That is amazing.
There was actually, they cut out the word whores. Like Simon and Garfunkel said whores in the Boxer song in 1970. So
they did.
Anyway.
And whores is a delightful word.
Yes, it is. So those are my tops.
I use it regularly.
Yeah. Just different number ones, basically. Different tops. Not a list.
I forgot about Everlast. I like them.
He had a song called Ends, too, that was kind of different. What people will do for the ends.
Yeah.
Make ends meet.
That album had a record store thing a couple years ago.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it did.
I'm good with the CD.
Yeah. I mean it's Oh, it's time for bottoms.
Yes, it is. Mike's first.
Well, you know how much I enjoy the bottoms. I because a lot of this, again, this is an era where it's like, I don't want to trash anyone because I don't know these. I don't know this music, so I'm not going to call it a bottom. But I noticed there's a lot, going through my research and everything, a lot of Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Sting, "Brand New Day."
Oh, that is a terrible song.
The whole album sucks.
I don't remember that.
The solo Sting sucks. I hate doing this because Carlos Santana is my favorite guitarist of all time. I think he is absolutely brilliant. He's versatile. He can play whatever the hell he wants. He can do blues. He can do jazz. He can do samba. He can do whatever he wants. He's definitely my favorite guitarist of all time. But man, Supernatural sucked. And it was everywhere.
Yeah, lots of people loved it.
That Smooth song with Rob Thomas. Holy crap, that thing sucks.
It was everywhere, but I liked it at the time.
Put it on now and see if you like it. That's a terrible song. And there were also a bunch of other really bad songs on there.
I'm pretty sure that was the only song to be number one in 2 different millennias.
Yeah.
Because it was number one at the end of the year and the beginning of the next year.
But huge for Carlos and great for him. And, whatever, there was a band, and I hope my friend Sylvester is not watching. He watches sometimes, but man, there was a band that he absolutely loved, and we would stand at Sidetrack or Roscoe's, or we'd be in Manhole or Berlin, and Steps would come on.
Oh, Steps!
And he would just... I'm actually going out with Sylvester later tonight. And
tell him I approve of Steps.
No, I am not going to tell him that. But every time Steps came on, he would just start dancing. And he's not a small man. He's a rather large individual. And he would dance to Steps. Do you guys remember Steps?
No.
I believe they were British.
No, I would.
Yeah, they were British, I believe.
Yes, they were, and they just had a reunion just a few years back.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
No.
They just like a new album. They did a single with Michelle Visage.
What was the song?
Oh, they had the 5, 6, 7, 8 song. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Sounds fabulous.
That's not it though.
You would hate it, Fithin.
You would hate this, Robert.
Yeah.
Tragedy.
Oh, they did Tragedy. Yeah.
Tragedy. Yeah, and that's
the Zombies. Tragedy.
I think the Bee Gees.
Tragedy.
Let's go to the Tragedy.
There is absolutely no reason anyone should ever cover that song. The Bee Gees did it perfect. Let's move on. And I don't need like 6 little teen, because they were young. They were like under 20 years old.
I think they were older for
they were 50
kids. They were 50 at the
Mike,
time.
They knew that song Tragedy. They had to be.
Well, it's because
sounds like a tragedy.
Person told them, "Oh, you need to sing the Bee Gees," but yeah. Right, it's time for the bottoms. Okay, so I have some dishonorable mentions. I only have 2, and then I have an entire theme for the bottoms of 1999.
You got a theme?
I have a fucking theme, unfortunately, because as I was looking
now we
through
all
everything,
have to step up our games.
I was like, Jesus, Lord, Mary, and Cher. Oh my goodness, I gotta go bathe myself and go to church after this. Okay, so my dishonorable mentions: Bree Sharp with David Duchovny. David Duchovny, Why Don't You Love Me? Obviously, the song has not aged well, but it was terrible then, it's terrible now. It's whatever. David Duchovny, Why Don't You Love Me? Shut up, Bree Sharp. Okay. And then also, shut up, Kenny Chesney. Nobody cares that she thinks your tractor is sexy. You're short, you're bald, you're gross. Shut up.
He is very short. He's one of the few people I've had a picture taken with.
Like a little,
just to show how short he is. Because I never was the kind that, and of course I didn't realize that social media would be a thing, and now I'd have all these pictures to share. So I never took pictures with singers or bands or anything.
Yeah.
But I made sure I got one with him to show how little he is. I mean, he comes up to, I'm
Insert
5'8".
Insert picture here.
It's like he's like up to here. Right.
Yeah. He's ugh.
Wow.
All right. So
is he still around? Isn't he the one that
unfortunately, but not as popular as he used to be.
I heard a rumor that he was straight.
See, I heard a rumor. Isn't he the guy that everyone thought was kind of gay?
He's the guy that married Renee Zellweger, and they got divorced like 5 minutes later. And the reason they got divorced was fraud.
Wow.
Fraud. That was what because you have to have a reason.
All the work?
Like illegally, you have to irreconcilable differences or whatever, and theirs was fraud.
Did they not really marry each other? They married somebody else.
It was never explained.
Maybe it was a Kenny Chesney.
But the fraud word is part of public, knowledge. It's on public record. So
they have all that plastic surgery done during their marriage.
Because the marriage lasted 5 days or something?
Minutes. It was not very long. It wasn't. That would
be fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe they're.
I mean, I said 5 minutes, but I'm pretty sure it was like a week or something, or 5 days.
It was not very long at all.
Yeah. No.
Okay. So 1999, I dubbed the year of bad covers because it is excruciating how many there were. Well, I don't think that single came out in 99. So as I was going through the singles, and I would like to let you know that I actually went and listened to every one of these. So I am an expert on how terrible they are. And and I watched the videos too. So the first, this is a UK darling. She only released singles. She never had any albums. She went by the name Roller Girl. And Roller Girl would roller skate in all her videos.
She's ripping off Boogie Nights.
Yeah, I remember this.
And so she did a cover of Madonna's Dear Jessie. But all it is Dear it's the chorus over and over and over for 3.5 minutes with this very annoying beep, 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 boop, 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 beep, beep, beep. It's like, oh, Jesus Lord, shut up, Roller Girl. Then she also did another cover the same year of Sunscream, which I love. Most people don't know who Sunscream are, but I love them. They had a song called Love You More back in like 93, and she covered that, and it was just same thing. She's roller skating about. Girl, get off your roller skates. Stop singing these songs because you're not doing it very well. Okay.
Yeah, Roller Girl is one of the main characters in Boogie Nights. She's always on roller skates.
All right. Well, I don't know. This Roller Girl, I don't recommend her. She's not recommended by me. Unless you just want to see terrible hair.
I don't recommend pissing off Roller Girl in Boogie Nights. She'll stomp your
face. I don't know that. Yeah, I don't want to be stomped in the nuts with. But this Roller Girl, I don't think they're the same Roller Girl, but okay. And then there was also, she was actually, I think, British as well, or Swedish or something. She was just not very good. She had terrible,
British or Swedish.
She had terrible, terrible outfits. I wanted to just, I don't know. And she's just plain awful. Her name is Lolly, like as in lollipop, but without the pop.
I was thinking Lolly Gag.
Covered.
Yeah, I was Lolly Gagger.
I was going
So Lolly covered Tony Basil's Mickey.
Richard just snorted.
That's good. Yeah. Oh, Mickey, no. No Lolly. No Lolly. No, shut. No. Okay. Then we have Brooks and Dunn. They covered John Waite's Missing You. They ain't missing you at all.
I didn't know that. Wow. It must not have been a single, or it didn't go to country radio.
Single. It was a single, and it's fucking horrible.
I can imagine.
And I'm just like, I mean, later Alison Krauss covered it. Tina Turner covered it. But Alison Krauss actually did it with John Wayne. I'd like that version. It's not that it's a great song to begin with, but Lord. Brooks, but the Alison Krauss one,
there is a John Waite documentary on Amazon Prime where he talks about that, and you know how John Waite was with it's on Amazon Prime. It's pretty interesting. He was with Bad English, and before that he was with the Babies, and so he had a career long before Alison Krauss, right? So you think he might be her elder. He's sitting there, and this is cool, Mr. Cool, John Waite. He's like, I always wanted to meet Alison Krauss. I think she's so incredibly talented, and I was so scared to go up to her and talk to her. And then he talks about meeting her and recording it with her, and she's in the studio, and she's listening to it back, and she just looks at me and she's like, I think this is really good. I think we sound really, really good together. I'm sorry.
I'll get out of
He starts crying over Alison Krauss complimenting him.
It's like, and he's bigger.
He's been around forever,
right? Yeah. And he's totally like
even when Missing You came out, he had already been around for like 15 years.
Yeah, he came out in like 78,
and that came out 25
79
years ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that first
he started crying over Alison Krauss. They had to
that's endearing and impressive. And
that's why I thought you'd like
and
that.
Weird.
Yeah, no, but I think it goes to show that.
I thought Craig would like it.
Of course, I would love it, but it goes to show that seasoned artists like him can appreciate somebody that was. I mean, granted that was quite a bit ago, but a newer how. She touched him. Dirty. But just how, I don't know.
Well,
I think that's very impressive. Yeah.
She's also amazing.
Okay. So these are, just so you know, these are just getting worse and worse because
we've noticed
the fact. I'm thankful I didn't know this existed, but now I do. And so now, definitely after all of this, I've booked some therapy appointments. I'm gonna start working on, my mental health after really experiencing these covers. Did y'all know there's lots of covers of this song, but there was a cover in 1999 of INXS's "Never Tear Us Apart." It was covered by Tom Jones featuring Natalie Imbruglia. And I love Natalie Imbruglia. I love her.
I do too.
But she couldn't save this. It is not. My comment was like, what the fuck? Shoot me. And that is how I felt when I was.
Somebody at the record company is going, this is a good idea.
This is he did an entire cover album with featured artists because I know he did
did he?
House with the Cardigans, but that came out the previous year. It's also not good. Then we have Monica, and Monica featuring 112. This is a song that should never be covered, and not because it's so great it shouldn't be covered. It's just a song that we should probably know. They covered it's just Richard Marx, Right Here Waiting. First
I actually like that song for some reason. I don't know why.
Wow. Okay. But cover it?
No.
No.
That's a step too far.
It's not good. Now, this one. Boy.
But if my name was Dick Marks, I would definitely go by Richard.
Yeah, I
wouldn't want Dick Marks.
No,
to be my name.
Not anywhere.
Well, his nickname could be Skid. So, and I'm sure he never got that. Anyways, this. Oh my. Y'all ever heard of someone called Cold Chamber?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Cold Chamber did a cover featuring Ozzy of the Ozzy Osbourne. And
Ozzy of the Osbourne.
Of the Ozzy Osbourne, yes. It was the Peter Gabriel song "Shock the Monkey." And
what?
And the guy, like, he's Satan. Satan is singing with Ozzy, and when it's Shock the Monkey, he's like, Marker, Marker. I'm like, I really, like, I actually got out my Bible, and I haven't touched that in about 14 years.
Ozzy was upstaged by Satan?
Oh, yeah, Satan, yeah. Oh, see, there's Satan right there. Look at him.
Don't you dare blame Satan for that.
That guy's
This is called corporate radio. That's what that's called.
That guy's nipple.
That's exactly what it is.
It's not something I recommend you listen to. Now this one, I've never heard of this. So they're from New Zealand, and I believe Ardijah, Ardijah, kind of like maybe a little bit of reggae, but some acoustic guitars. But as Robert Fitton would say, there's some cabbage patching going on here with the drum beats and things like that. And this Ardijah or whatever did a very lovely, terrible, not good, no, there was nothing special. No, there was no of Wings' silly little love songs, and I don't recommend it. Yeah. Then we have, and I like her. People either love her or hate her, but why the hell did you do this? The video is worse than the cover. She's in a car. She's got really bad short haircut. Sheryl Crow covered Sweet Child of Mine, and no.
Oh, no.
I actually like that cover.
I don't like
Cheryl.
I love Cheryl. I don't like that.
For the movie Big Daddy.
Is that what it was for? Because it never should have happened. It never should have happened.
I think it's just kind of there.
Then we have Real Big Fish, and I
remember the name.
Yeah, Real Big Fish. They were kind of like ska and they did Take on Me, ahas, and it's
awful.
I don't know what else to say. And I only got a few more here. There was just so much. There was just so much horrible badness of covers.
Crap, this is a lot of covers.
And Mel B.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Remember when I said I had a theme too?
Oh no. So Mel B was of the Spice Girls. She was Scary Spice. I love her. She did not need to cover Cameo's Word Up. It should have never happened, and it's not good. And so I love you, Mel B. I love you, my Scary Spice, but what the fuck? Okay. There's Boyzone, who was another British boy band at the time. And they was like, hey, or maybe they're producers or whatever. Maybe they're like, hey, why don't you cover Billy Ocean's When the Going Gets Tough, the tough get going? Because that sounds like a great idea.
I'm so glad I've never heard some of these.
Yes, be thankful you didn't. I also learned of somebody called Blockster, Blockster. Blockster. I wish I could blocks. Oh my lord, Blockster did a cover of the Bee Gees' You Should Be Dancing. And it's this weird, like, dancey, and it's like almost like a spy mystery is the video. And this guy's outfit is just amazing. The thing is that here's this guy who's like, he's got like fire outfit on or whatever. It's just beautiful. You should watch it just for his outfit. But he should be dancing, and he's the worst dancer I've ever seen him. It's like, why?
You've never seen him dance.
This should actually call it You Shouldn't Be Dancing, Dear Darling, Blockster. And then all of a sudden, so it's like, You Should Be Dancing, Blockster. And then it says, featuring Bad Girl. And there's this bad girl. And she's like, look at me with my big cigarette, my gun. It's like, she didn't sing. She didn't do anything. She just ran around the video, but it was featuring Bad Girl. So thank you, Bad Girl, for being in the video.
She's a multimillionaire now.
She is just brilliant. Bad Girl she's a bad girl.
Or in prison, one of the two.
She's probably in prison. So it's done now, but just one more thing. So there's this Swedish pop group, and they said, fuck it. I am not going to cover one song by this group. No. Not 2, not 3. We are going to do an entire album. And they did an entire horrible album of ABBA covers. Every single song. The 18s. And they did nothing but ABBA songs. And they are not good.
No.
They are not. No. There's nothing special. They did do a couple years later, they had a song called Floor Filler, which was like their song and not a cover. I like Floor Filler. Bum, 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 Floor Filler. But yeah, no, this ABBA, no, shut up. 18s. And obviously the people were like, oh yeah, we're going to call them the 18s because they're ABBA.
When I first started on this radio station, the last one I was on, it's called Adult Hits, and basically it was a lot of nostalgia, like 80s and some 70s at that time. We got away from the 70s and moved on to 80s and 90s. And like I said, played really huge current hits of today. I've explained this format before. When I first started there, like my first couple of days on the air, it's all computer. We weren't playing CDs. It was all files. That's what radio stations do. And so this even years ago. So I don't remember which ABBA song it was. I want to say it was Mamma Mia. And this was before the movie was out. And maybe it might have been Fernand. I don't remember what it was. But it comes up and it plays. And I'm like, this is not ABBA. What is this? And I remember going to a meeting. We had Monday morning meetings. And I wrote a note about it. And I just happened to mention, I said, did you get, the program director was in the meeting, obviously, so I'm talking to him. I'm like, did you get my note about the ABBA song? That's not ABBA. And this other guy pipes up and goes, oh, that's ABBA. I've heard it. I'm like, that is not ABBA. I have been playing pop music on the radio for 40 years, and that is ABBA. And so this is how I came out to everybody I worked with. Well, I've been gay for 40 years, and that is not ABBA. And so we go into the studio and play the song, and somebody it sounds like, I don't know if it's High School Musical or whatever the other thing was. It was before Glee. There was two things, High School Musical and something else where they did those things or whatever, but that's not ABBA. And somebody went in the studio and Shazammed it, and it was the 18s. So there's my 18s story.
Yeah.
I don't know how it got into the system. I don't know how it got mislabeled.
Good on you, Robert.
Come out to your professional peer group.
Yes. Well, some of them had worked, I knew, but I mean, officially coming out to everyone saying I've been gay for 40 years. I think I must have been 40 then. And that is not ABBA.
Must have been.
He didn't really have a response to that one. It was kind of like, maybe it's not ABBA. So yeah,
Richard, what you got for us?
Oh, okay. Are you? Oh, all right.
I'm ready.
I am so glad I don't have to follow Craig.
Yeah, some of the bottoms I'm going to mention are obituaries from the year 1999.
That's a
March
bottom.
2nd, Dusty Springfield. She died of breast cancer at age 59.
So young.
Moondog.
Moondog, yeah.
Moondog. He died at age 83. Hoyt Axton, and that was on September 8th. On October 26th, Hoyt Axton died at 61 from a heart attack. And, I never really paid much attention to Hoyt Axton, but then I realized he recorded a lot with Arlo Guthrie and with many other people. He was showing up on a lot of, like a session musician on a lot of different records. Very talented player.
Did you say 61?
Yes, 61 of a heart attack.
Wow. I thought he was older.
And then December was a really bad month. On December 10th, Rick Danko of the band died of a drug-related heart attack, and he was only 56.
He was so handsome.
Grover Washington Jr. also died December 17th. He was only 56. Hank Snow, he was 85 on December 20th. But on December 26th, Curtis Mayfield died, age 57.
Jesus.
So a lot. It was a bad month, and for some very young people. My bottoms
And Hank
when it
Snow.
comes.
Yeah, and
Hank Snow.
And
Hank Snow. Good old
Well, you
Hank.
said young people, and I said and Hank Snow.
And Hank Snow, because he was
So
and
named
Hank-
because he
right,
was
right.
from Canada. He was the Canadian country singer, so that's why he was Hank Snow.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
I don't have a lot of. I only have one real bottom single. I just remember 1999 as just being a really mediocre year. I mean, there was Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys and 98
a
Degrees
lot of Britney.
and NSYNC and Boys to Men. All of these, I mean, they were all over the radio, but it was just like, to me, there was nothing special about them. They weren't doing anything really great or innovative.
No.
I mean, Sheryl Crow really was kind of a blessing with the couple hits that she had that year. And then, of course, Robert had mentioned Ricky Martin, and I really liked Ricky Martin, although I wasn't listening to him until like 2001, I think, is when I started listening to him. But I was going through all the songs, all the top songs, and I see this group. It says LFO. And I'm like, LFO? Isn't this like industrial electronic, stuff? And so they had a hit in 1999. So I look up the song and I started playing it.
Yeah,
It was Summer Girls.
Yeah, it's so not good.
Well, let me read to you some of the lyrics.
No.
New Kids on the Block had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick. And I think it's fly when girls stop by for the summer. The album or the video is like another really lame line that they repeat over and over. You look like a girl from Abercrombie and Fitch.
Oh yeah.
It's been 4 weeks at number 3 in the charts. 4 weeks. And it's such a pathetic song.
It's not good.
But
it was everywhere.
It's so bad.
It was everywhere.
Yeah. I couldn't, so that was, I didn't know anything about it at the time, but when I played it, I'm like, that's my bottom. Summer Girls by LFO.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, light, funky ones.
Yes, light, funky ones.
Is that
yes,
what
that's
it
what
stood
they
for?
were.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what it stood for. Yes,
So
they were.
They
light,
weren't funky, but they
ones.
were sure light.
I never heard that until like probably about 7 or 8 years ago when the radio station I was on started playing. Because like I said, we moved more into the 90s and away from the 70s. And all of a sudden there's this shitty song on. I'm like, what in the hell is
and
this?
people dig it. I don't know why, but yeah.
Because it's stupid. People are stupid, and stupid people like stupid shit.
It's true.
Yes, they do.
Like this shit that I'm about to bring up here. Remember last time when I ruined Craig's bottom?
Nice segue.
I thought Craig was going to ruin my bottom because he did covers, and that's what half of mine are. That's like part of my theme here is covers. But there were a lot in 1999, and there were so many, he only mentioned one of the ones that I was going to mention. But before I get to the covers, some bands making a comeback with horrible songs. Black Sabbath had Psycho Man, which Black Sabbath sounding like some sort of jump rope song. Psycho Man, Psycho Man. Can you imagine Black Sabbath doing a song like that? Kiss takes their stage announcement. You wanted the best. You got the best. The hottest band in the land, Kiss. For like 100 years, every time they come out on stage, that's what they come out to, right? They had a song called You Wanted the Best. And it's each of them taking turns panned on a channel singing, and it's all about how we're going to bring the best. You wanted it's like tailor-made to like start a concert or something. It was absolutely terrible. Wow. Sammy Hagar, I mentioned Austin Powers earlier. Sammy Hagar had a song called I Want to Shag You, Baby.
Wait, was it on the soundtrack?
No. He just did it on his own. This is totally his own. Yeah. I think he thought that shag was going to be a word. Alabama had a song with shagging down on the boulevard. It's like, wow, they're fucking right in the middle of the street, apparently.
Well, shag was a dance back in the 60s, though, but for still Alabama, but that's not what...
It's pretty coincidental that everybody's coming out with this when Austin Powers saying shagadelic and all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Kid Rock, awful, obviously. Fuck that fraud. Go back to Daddy's Mansion with your ba with a ba and up jump the boogie. You are not some 1940s Harlem Club singer. You wish. Creed, obviously terrible. Higher and one. Higher, I believe, was the video where the lead singer got upset because the director cut out all his Jesus poses and demanded that some of those Jesus poses be put back in the video. Good times there. Worst pop song of the year was Blessed Union of Souls with Hey Leonardo.
Oh, God.
She likes me for me because she doesn't like my CDs. And then they have a CD sound effect. And then I don't like her, blah, blah, blah. And then they have a sound effect of something else. It was terrible.
God.
Awful.
Oh.
Blessed Union of Souls. They had another song, too, that was more like religious, but I don't remember what it is. But that was horrible, too.
There's nothing. No.
They really were the sound of... It was the boy bands, and then that pompous shit like that was the sound.
Yeah.
But now on to the cover versions. Craig already mentioned Cold Chamber and Shock the Monkey. Obviously, absolutely horrible. A song so bad they had to fix it, basically, and apologize to radio. Not lying. Lenny Kravitz, American Woman. Again, speaking of the Austin Powers soundtrack. The song ends with Lenny Kravitz singing in this completely distorted recording. He's like, American Woman. And literally programmers all over the country were like, I think I got a faulty copy of this. This sounds like it's completely distorted. Oh no, that's how it's supposed to sound. It's Lenny Kravitz. He's real cool like that. What? And so they had to redo it and resubmit the singles. And this was American Woman, no distortion version. I still have it. So yeah, a song so bad they literally had to fix it.
I didn't know.
Which it's horrible anyway. We don't need Lenny Kravitz doing American Woman. I used to like him.
He's great.
First 3 records. Anything after that? Not
yeah,
good.
like Let Love Rule album, the whole album, and Are You Gonna Go My Way, and Mama Said, and
the
Is There Any
first
Love in
3
Your Heart?
records.
And
First 3 records.
And
first 3.
I saw him live. I saw him live about 8 or 9 years ago, and he was spectacular. He was great.
Oh, I saw him live about 12 or 15 years, maybe more like 15 years ago, and he was terrible.
Really?
Wow. My show was great.
Cliched and just, it was... All right, anybody with any negativity can turn around and get the fuck out of here. Okay, thank you, Ted Nugent ripoff. We don't need... why don't you put on a good show? There won't be any negativity. How about that? Anyway, cover songs from 1999. I was already doing that. We continue with Metallica expanding their Garage album where they have a bunch of covers. Now they're going to put more songs on there that we have to play on the radio, like Turn the Page from Bob Seger. Metallica does Turn the Page, if you can imagine. Metallica does Whiskey in the Jar, originally done by Thin Lizzy. Whiskey in the Jar! Yeah! I had my rape ya! And I'll kill ya! It's awful. Yeah, it was Whiskey in the Jarro when Thin Lizzy did it. There was this concoction of a bunch of people done for another soundtrack to a movie called The Faculty, where a guy from Rage Against the Machine, I don't remember which one, teamed up with Lane Staley or somebody, maybe it was Lane Staley, and the guy from Creed doing the vocals. So guess what song they covered? Pink Floyd's Another Brick in the Wall Part 2.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we had to play that with its drum machine and its whatever. Here's one, after Mike is done listening to Cold Chamber's Shock the Monkey, he should check out Fear Factory and a song they did called Cars.
Oh, yeah. I thought about their cover.
I think I've heard that. I think I've heard it.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Fear
Yeah, this was all because of, I think, a band called Orgy did Blue Monday
Yeah,
and
they
had a
did.
big
And I
success
don't-
like the year before.
I don't like their cover of that.
And so now everybody's going to start doing like, stuff like that with the techno stuff and making it like metal type stuff. And also the one that's probably the most popular outside of rock radio was a really bad idea from Pearl Jam to cover a song from the 60s from a guy named J. Frank Wilson, and the song was called Last Kiss.
Yeah.
Oh, where can my baby be? Yeah, Lord took her away from me. It was
Wait,
awful.
no, that sounded like Cher.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
that
what Eddie
was
Vedder
like-
sounds like. He sounds like you've got a Cher 45 and you're playing it on 33. That was like half the bands in the 90s with this whole
And
There you go.
after love.
There's
Oh.
Pearl Jam.
No.
Awful. And there's people who are like, "Oh my God, that's so great." Heard their version. Really? I mean, can't people just be real? That song is obviously terrible. Okay, those are all the cover songs. I just have one bottom left. Worst song ever because this one followed me to another station. I actually had to play this on the adult hit station as well. It's another one of those stupid ass pop punk songs where they turn punk rock and they make it sing-songy. Yeah, it's no surprise to me. I am my own worst enemy. Because every now and then I kick the living shit out of me. I said shit. Awful. Pathetic. Lit.
Oh, Lit. Yeah, that's not a... No, yeah, I know the song, unfortunately.
Terrible. Pathetic. It's worse than terrible. It's pathetic. It's absolute. It's just pathetic. That's the best way I can describe that song. And any song that's not all these fucking stupid jumping around pop. We're pop punk. We're punk, but we're pops. We go.
Lovely.
Hey, because we're so punk rock. God, I just want to pick up a fucking brick.
It would be it would be another brick from your wall.
Right.
It would.
Good thing it's a wall because there's going to be plenty of bricks because there was plenty of them shitty ass punk pop songs.
Yeah.
Thank you, Green Day. Appreciate it. Anyway, those are my bottoms for 1999.
There were two stuck together. And it's weird because they're exactly 10 years apart. So
Well, let's have the earlier one. How about that?
Yeah, let's have the earlier
You want to go with the earlier one? Okay.
Whichever one you think is better. How about that?
I
probably
think,
a choice between-
honestly, I think both years you guys will enjoy both.
Okay, so one's from the 70s and one's from the 80s then.
I'd say one from the 70s and one from the 60s.
1990.
Or, yeah, 60s maybe. One's from the 60s and one... whichever.
Just pick one.
One's
All
definitely
right.
from the 70s.
What?
I
What
said
about
one's definitely from the 70s then.
Yes, one's definitely from the 70s. So, well, I'm trying to think of how it was when I think this one might have been, okay.
Well, just hold them
Do
up
it
like
again.
this, and we'll say right or
just-
left. And
Okay, all right, tell me, wait, let me.
Then
do-
you're confused between because what's
Yeah.
his right or your right or... Yeah.
This
I don't
is my
care.
right.
It's 50-50.
This is my
I'm just
right,
gonna
this
say
is
pick
my
the
left.
right one.
Okay, do it.
Pick the right one. What do you
Right.
guys say?
Right.
Right? Well, yeah, right. So, okay, 1966.
I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle. Here is my other handle. Oh shit, I'm a sugar bowl.
We'll see what I can come up with in 66.
So next week, 1966, but now it's time to talk about the album that Craig suggested, and that is from 1966, coincidentally, and it's the Exciting Wilson Pickett.
Exciting.
I think this is his third album?
Second
album?
Second album. First album, though, with Atlantic, isn't it?
No. The first one was on Atlantic too, I think, called In the Midnight Hour, which is also on this album, In the Midnight Hour.
Yeah.
Which, I wonder why they did that. Anyway, who's first? I think
Richard. Yeah, get it.
So,
Get it out.
when this was recommended, this was going to be our record. I was excited because I have a greatest hits, I guess, compilation or some type of compilation. I'm quickly looking up because there's some really good information in this book here by Peter Guralnick, Sweet Soul Music. And there's quite a bit in here about Wilson Pickett. And that song, I think it was The Midnight Hour, that was the way, I guess, that they tried to get him over to, that got him to Stax, because he was, who he was recording with, the producer, I guess, was a real jerk. And they weren't getting anywhere. And so, who's the guy from Atlantic, the guy who was like the real big shot who
I met Erdogan.
Yeah. He said send him to Memphis, because they figured they had a good artist here. They said send him to Memphis, and so that's where he did. They sent him. And when I listened to it online, I'm like going, oh man. So guess what I saw in the store today? So there's a mono reissue of the record.
Is it on clear?
Is it on clear vinyl?
On clear vinyl, yeah. And so German pressing. And I thought, well, damn, this is serendipitous. So when I was listening to it, apparently they took that song at first, the Midnight Hour, and they gave it to Solomon Burke, who at that time was like the reigning king of soul before he was usurped by James Brown. But Wilson Pickett, listening to that record, I hadn't listened to it, the one that I have, for so long. I'm like, damn, I mean, the voice, the energy, all the way through from one song to the next. And then also, when we're looking at, I had to look these up before, but like on side, I mean, the whole album is just strong from start to finish. But on side 2 especially, you've got In the Midnight Hour, which is a Wilson Pickett and Steve Cropper. Steve Cropper really had a lot of production control and really helped Wilson on this record. Then 99 and a Half Won't Do. That's another Wilson Pickett with Steve Cropper co-writing. Danger Zone is Wilson Pickett and Steve Cropper. Then I'm Drifting is mostly just Wilson Pickett. And It's All Over is Wilson Pickett and Steve Cropper. And then The Closer is a Bobby Womack song, She's So Good to Me. That's, on that side too. The studio band at Stax just really did such an incredible job backing them up with this record. I mean, every single one of these songs. I mean, I really like 99 and a Half because I love the way they do this kind of like this smooth, like slide going in there and with that. And but everything, Barefoot, and then the backing. I don't know who the backing vocals are for 6, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. The girls in the back singing the phone number.
They're good.
Yeah, Land of 1,000 Dances. It's just this. I just thought it was so cool when I was in the record store today. That I saw that this was right there, like the front of the stack, and I'm going, "Oh man, now I can listen to it again. This time, on the vinyl." And by the way, this 75th anniversary pressing sounds really good. I mean, the wax is dead quiet. And it's a mono reissue. It's just, and he's jumping on there. I mean, the cover is really good.
It's a great cover.
I don't know how to be more expressive about this other than to say that, wow, 2 albums in a row, that when I was listening to him initially online, I had the with the Coco Taylor, it was in my mind, yes, I need to go and get that record because it was there for record store day and I passed it up and I was lucky. And then this one, shows up as well. So just like two in a row. This is just, it's another one of these records where you can't sit still, while you're listening to it, This is an album, especially if you're having a house party. This is an album that you're going to want to put on. It's an album that you will want to put on just to listen to by yourself. But it's also, like I say, a house party album. It just incredible voice. I mean, him and Otis Redding, really, they're just, to me, very much on the same level. In terms of their voice and the energy that they put into what they're doing. This is a 5 rainbow record for me, just hands down. And it's in my collection now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, Wilson Pickett, awesome. I've got several of his albums. Mine is the stereo one, but yeah, Land of a Thousand Dances. I think he has the third version of that. It was done by who had the first? I can't remember who had the. It was Chris Kennett, or maybe
Chris Kenner.
Chris Kenner. Yeah, he had
the. Right.
His actually says "Land of a Thousand Dances" in it, and then it was Cannibal and the Headhunters that actually added the na 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 part, and then of course Wilson Pickett made it huge. But yeah, half this album was recorded at the Stax Studio, and then half was recorded at Muscle Shoals in Alabama. So you have two huge, legendary places for recording this type of music, and you can kind of tell the difference. The Stax stuff has that drum that's kind of distorted. That was that kind of a signature sound for them, that overdriven drum. It sounds like a splattery kind of thing. The drums at the Muscle Shoals are a lot more defined, but yeah, it's not like one side is one and one is the other. It's kind of mixed around. But yeah, every song on here is great. It's a lot of. He sounds like Richard said. He sounds like he's having fun. He's excited. He's
exciting.
Yeah, he's the exciting Wilson Pickett. This is probably his best album, I would say. The sound of Wilson Pickett's great. And In the Midnight Hours, great. The Wicked Pickett is almost as good, but this is the pinnacle. So, yeah, I mean, he was called Soul Brother number 2 because James Brown was Soul Brother number 1, and he absolutely hated that and actually challenged James Brown and did a cover. I did a version live of Cold Sweat, and really did a better job than James Brown. So I've always.
Wow.
And unlike James Brown, he was a nice guy. He was not some temperamental, go and get the shotgun, somebody made me mad, smacking people around kind of person. But yeah, I mean, Richard went over the songs, but yeah, I mean, I'm not as big of a fan of the Phone Number song. And there's another one on here I don't care much for. I will give this, but yeah, I mean, 12 songs on here, 10 of them are incredible. I will give this 4.5 rainbows for the exciting Wilson Pickett. But yeah, the Wilson Pickett, I mean, if you have like a compilation, that's probably the way to start with him, because you get all of the other Mustang Sally.
That's what's missing off this record.
I Found a Love, that's another great one that he did early on with the Falcons, where the whole thing is distorted. It's this incredible sound where everything is just, somebody just went and just cranked all the controls up. And they don't do. Iggy Pop did that, I think. He was the last person to do that. So yeah, I give it 4.5 rainbows.
So we're doing this. When I see this record when I was younger, I would see this on the wall, on the Holy Moly wall. You'd see an OG of it sitting up there, and it would always be expensive. And I would just be like, why is a greatest hits record so expensive? Because I'm not buying a greatest hits record for $60, $70. This isn't a greatest hits record. It should be. It's fucking amazing. You look at this track listing. It's it's stunning. It's like it's like, you know, a Beatles record. It's like it's absolutely stunning. I can't talk enough about this. First of all, Richard, absolutely correct. This pressing sounds spot. I mean, this thing sounds great for clear vinyl. This sounds really really good. I mean, which goes back to it was recorded really well. You know, I mean, even I even streamed it in my car, and the streaming even sounded good. And then I came home and I was like, oh, I'm going to put it on the record. And the vinyl sounds great. Everything about this is you guys are going to be really surprised. But I mean, just the track listing. I'm Barefootin'. I love Barefootin'. One of the great songs of all time. Mercy Mercy. I mean, come on. Land of a Thousand Dances, You're So Fine, In the Midnight Hour to open the second side of the record because it wasn't good enough to be on the first side. It's just iconic.
Well, it was on the first album, so.
Well, that's true. That's true. But the song Danger Zone, probably an album track, I guess. Great song. I love that song. It's I'm drifting. This is the kind of album that I save a 5 rainbow review to. This is why I didn't give all the other rainbows, all the other albums we've done. This is a 5 rainbow record. It's stunning. It's one of the greatest albums ever recorded. And that's what 5 rainbows are for. Awesome.
Yay.
And his vocals. Damn, he was good.
Yeah, he's so good.
He was so damn good. And I know he's one of the greats of all time, but you know, you always hear about, you know, Sam Cooke, and he's right. He's unbelievable. Absolutely one of the greatest records ever recorded. Craig?
Yay! So it's my turn to talk about the exciting Wilson Pickett. So the Land of a Thousand Dances. I didn't know a couple other people did it. But the first time I ever heard the Land of a Thousand Dances, which I did not know that's what it was called. I just know that it was in an episode of Facts of Life. And Beverly Ann was having a dream because Bobby and Fabian came over and thought they used to live in the house. And then they had a flashback of this great one-hit wonder girl group called the Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-las. And
I remember this.
Yeah, it was so great. And they had their song Hot Rod Lover. But at the end, the Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-las performed in the Beatnik shop or whatever place with Bobby and Fabian, and they sang Land of Thousand Dances. So that was the first time I actually ever heard that song. I have that episode memorized. I watched it so much when I was a kid. But yes, didn't know what people did. I didn't know it later. But yeah, Mustang Sally is also like one. That's like that's really was probably my introduction to him, and then I kind of went back. And I've never heard like a greatest hits, and yeah, and I saw this just a few months ago because I've really been wanting, like, again, love Mustang Sally. I wanted to hear more of him. I saw this in my local record store. I have a mono, 1966 mono.
Nice.
It's definitely got a lot of surface noise. That's why I bought the reissue. Comparing,
and the reissue is cheap. I think I got mine a couple of years ago for maybe $22.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I paid under 20 for mine. That's why I decided to go ahead and get it, because the surface noise on this, obviously, it wasn't present during the songs, but just in between. But I almost kind of felt like this sounded a little better if it did not have the surface noise. Oh, here again, two. I like it so much. It's so nice. I bought it twice. Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's something really magical. I feel like I've been using the word magical a lot lately when we
That's a
would
good
talk
word.
about albums. But and I wish that I would have been like kind of introduced to him way back, because it's only been about 10 years that I've actually really known a lot. I mean, I knew Mustang Sally, I knew that song. I didn't really know it was him, if that makes any sense. Yeah, this is a fantastic record. Like, I think exciting is a good word to use, because, and you want to dance. Like, it's like I was listening to it like right before we started, and Barefootin' came on, and I'm barefoot because, you know, I don't wear shoes or socks in the house. And I'm just barefoot dancing in my living room and just having it. And I was almost going to rock out with my cock out, because I still haven't done that. I've had a book report to do that for a long time.
I don't think this is the album to do that.
I thought, well, you know what, this wouldn't be really rocking out with my cock out. Like,
this is a barefoot
like kind of barefooting with my cock out. So
God, what a great song that is.
It's so good. And then it's followed by Mercy Mercy, which is just like so good. Now I think, I mean, those two fantastic. She's so good to me. Like, I just think it's a really great closer. And I love the backing vocalists. They're so, I don't know if the same ones throughout the whole record. I like to think maybe yes, but yeah, I think it's really, really great. And yeah, it's a 5 rainbow to me as well.
Okay, I can't be the lowest like Wilson Pickett rating. Change mine to 5.
Are you giving it a so it's a perfect?
Well, then that makes it the first perfect album.
It's the first perfect album.
When you went 4.5, I was like, whoa.
Well, because he doesn't like the number song, so you're balancing it, but
I think with this record, just look at how many songs on here have been covered by so many artists. And what we were talking about earlier, good covers. I mean, there have been great covers of all of these songs.
Mustang Sally, I remember from Johnny Rivers, him doing the cover.
Johnny Rivers did it,
yeah.
And I gave it 4.5 too, because In the Midnight Hours cheating, because that was already
because it was on a previous album.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
So what's next?
Oh, it's your turn, right?
No, it's my turn.
Oh no, it's Mike's turn. You were last week. We're too much of this.
Alphabetical order, Craig.
Yeah, shut it. Me. I'm telling me to shut it, because we just did Robert's album. I'm stupid. Okay, go, Mike.
I had an album pulled for weeks and weeks and weeks, because I'm just bought tickets to see this wonderful, amazing woman concert, and I've been going at her catalog like crazy. But she's very R&B, soul, gospel, and we've been doing a lot of that lately. So I'm going to hold off on that for my next time around.
Okay.
And I'm going to do a left turn, and I'm going to suggest an album that was actually released last Friday. And it is an album that I am head over heels in love with. Well, I'm not going to give it away. But this is a band called the Rose City Band. This is Rose City Band. Their album Garden Party. It just came out. And
isn't that a
I think it's a really interesting album. What?
Yeah. Isn't that a Ricky Nelson song?
Yes.
We're going to the garden party. Yeah. Is that on there?
It's not on there.
Oh. Well, I want a Ricky Nelson garden party cover. If you're going to
pull out the Ricky Nelson.
Give me some goddamn Ricky Nelson garden party. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for Rose City Band.
The Rose City Band, really cool current band going around. The lead singer and curator of the band, he's been around for years. He's been in several bands. I will get into that next week.
Okay,
but we'll see.
All right, Rose City Band,
something totally different.
Wow,
definitely not Wilson Pickett.
And you will get into us again next week when we review not only that album, but the songs of 1966, or maybe it'll be the albums of 1966, or maybe it'll be
with this bunch.
the concerts of 1966 or something. It'll be a 1966. I didn't either.
Yeah.
I saw the Tammy Show reruns when they came out with that DVD.
I was 8 years old in 1966, and I wasn't going to any concerts, so I don't think any of you were going to any concerts either.
We
Top
definitely
10
were
Monkeys
not.
episodes from 1966.
Yeah, we have it.
So join us then for our tops and bottoms. Once again, we are the Vinyl Community Guncles. I am Robert Fithen, along with
Richard at Kelvin Wazoo.
Craig's Vinyl Plethora.
Mike at Hubtunes.
Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you'll watch us again next week and leave a comment as well.
Yeah, we like comments.
Yes, we like comments.